é o papel de um líder empresarial no que diz respeito à sustentabilidade, hoje, no mundo?
Well, look, I think every business should be a force for good, and every entrepreneur should be setting out to not just be a money-making machine, but to run their business so they can be extremely proud of running their business, and so that the employees of the company can be very proud of the business. And we can't rely on governments to sort out the problems of the world. We need to work with governments. And I think if every company can take that attitude, we can get on top of the world's problems.
Quando o senhor diz que é difícil confiar nos governos para determinadas soluções, é mais fácil para um líder empresarial caminhar sozinho do que caminhar com governos nas soluções dos problemas ambientais?
I think business leaders and governments must work together, and I mean, I think the governments must set the rules and make sure that the environment's right, but every single business leader must do everything they can to get their own house in order, and preferably to try to when they make investments, make sure that a good percentage of those investments are made with the environment in mind.
What do you do in your company?
Well, we have quite a lot of companies. We have about 300 different companies. We have, as you can see from the video, a number of dirty businesses. We have, for instance, 4 airlines. We have train companies. We even have a spaceship company. So all the profits we make from our dirty businesses, we reinvest those in clean energy and trying to develop fuels that can power our planes in the future that will be environmentally friendly fuels. So we've developed something called isobutanol, and we've developed an algae-based aviation fuel. And I think in that way we can feel that we've balanced our books a little bit.
Ok, eu tenho uma questão agora da plateia, Simone Macari da Coca-Cola. What do you think that Brazilian government should do to push big businessmen to be more environmentally friendly? Is there anything that you've seen around the world that should be an example for us, for example?
Well, first of all, I hope that conferences like this will send out many entrepreneurs into the world to be environmentally friendly without necessarily having to be pushed by governments. But governments can set rules which mean that they tax dirty fuels and they do not tax clean fuels. So if an airline develops a fuel that is not damaging the environment, then there will be no tax. If it's flying on a fuel that is dirty, there will be tax. And so governments can very much give people the incentive to go green.
So you support a tax on carbon fuels, for example?
Yeah, I think a carbon tax that is a global carbon tax makes a lot of sense. And I'm an airline owner. It will affect me, but as long as it affects all airlines equally and all shipping companies equally, then that makes sense. And if the shipping companies can come up with a clean fuel that is not taxed, that would be the encouragement.
Okay, I think you like this one. What have inspired you to create one of the leading brands in the world, Virgin?
Well, I love creating things, and I think the most successful entrepreneurs are not people who think, how can I make a lot of money, but people who love to create things, love to make a difference. I think most of the most successful businesses are from people who, I suspect more like artists than business people, people who just love to create things which they can be proud of.
How to balance the passion for it, profits, and the sustainability, what we're talking about here. Is it possible, or is it just a dream, in your opinion?
I think it is completely possible. First of all, the passion is what makes it a success and what makes it stand apart from other companies. It's what makes your staff be highly motivated to work with you. And if you've got 60 or 70,000 people working for you or with you, they want to be proud of the company they work for. They want to be able to go and have a drink in the evenings and proudly say, I work for Virgin, and know that people will be jealous. People will be look up to them because they work for a company that is sustainable, is making an effort to make a difference in the world. And I think if every company chairman could set themselves a challenge to try to tackle some of the bigger problems in the world and not use the excuse of that should be a government's job. Most of the big problems in this world could be tackled. We've set up organizations like the Elders, where President Cardoso, who perhaps doesn't get the credit in Brazil that he deserves for setting Brazil on the path that it is today. He's one of the elders, and that group of elders that Nelson Mandela. We set up an organization called the Carbon War Room. The reason we set it up was, people say that carbon could create as big a problem in the world as World War I and World War II put together. But where is the war room to tackle this problem head on and really get the troops going to tackle it in the way that Churchill tackled Hitler in the Second World War. So anyway, we set up the war room. The challenge is to get 25 gigatons of carbon out of the Earth's atmosphere. We have entrepreneurial people running the war room. We have Jose Maria Figueres, who used to be president of Costa Rica, as the chairing the war room. And they're looking at the shipping industry, they're looking at the airline industry, they're looking at all the various different industries. And they're not attacking them, they're sitting down and working with these industries to see how, in imaginative ways, we can get a gigaton of carbon out of each of those industries.
Well, I'm not sure that everybody in this room knows about the Carbon War Room. Could you please explain us a little bit more how it works, what it is, how it works, and where do you want to get with the Carbon War Room?
The Centre to coordinate the 25 principal industries that emit carbon. So, interestingly, the IT industry, the people using Google and MySpace and things, that now is the biggest emitter of carbon of any industry in the world. The airline industry, is a big emitter of carbon. The shipping industry, which has gone under the radar, is a massive emitter of carbon. I mean, if I take one industry as an example, the shipping industry, most of the ships in the world fly on flags of no convenience. There's no monitoring of, which ships are efficient, which ships are inefficient. So the Carbon War Room has taken the 80,000 ships in the world and they've ranked them A through to F, and they now have an internet site so that the big retailers in Brazil or the big retailers in England can actually see whether the ship that's shipping their goods are efficient ships or are they damaging the environment, and they can then actually say to ship owners, we want to have an efficient ship. So it's ideas like that the Carbon War Room are working on.
Panificadora Elisa. PAD Blocos de Concreto.
Panificadora Elisa. Há 28 anos em Manaus, a Panificadora Elisa oferece com requinte e qualidade diferentes itens nos serviços de café, pães, confeitaria, doces, salgados e produtos regionais. Se você ainda procura um lugar para almoçar, já encontrou. Abrimos para o almoço todos os dias e no domingo, a partir das 13 horas. Realizamos seu evento com a escolha do melhor buffet. Panificadora Elisa. Cardápio variado com sabores requintados. Avenida Humberto Calderaro Filho, Antiga Rua Paraíba, número 20, Andrianópolis. 3236-2869 ou 3642-9377.
A PAD Artefatos de Concreto trabalha no desenvolvimento e produção de pavers, blocos de concreto, meios fios e pisos de qualidade para grandes e pequenas obras. Seguindo as normas da ABNT, com fornecedores certificados, a PAD tem o orgulho de participar do processo avançado de desenvolvimento da cidade e de sua obra. PAD, ideias inovadoras na construção. 9128-5554.